Hey, Adam Hooksema here from ProjectionHub. In this video, I'm going to be walking through our condo developer financial projection template. This template is built for condo developers who are building condominiums from the ground up and with the idea that they're going to build and then sell them unit by unit. So this projection template is going to help you with that financial model. So if you're looking to raise capital from investors or lenders to be able to finance that and you need a set of projections for that, that's what we're going to be going through here today. So I'm going to walk you through that step by step. First, a little bit of my background. I was a business lender for a little over a decade, made 1,500 business loans during my time as executive director of an organization called Bankable. And now I own ProjectionHub, and we help people create financial projections and business plans for raising capital from lenders and investors. So today I'm going to be walking through this template. I'm going to put a link in the description of the video to the template so that you can grab that and follow along. And also, if you stick around to the very end of the video as my thank you to you for sticking around to the end, I'm going to give you access to a coupon code that you can use to take a discount on this particular template. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. There's quite a bit here. And so I guess maybe I'll just start right off the beginning that if at any point you get a little overwhelmed and you say, man, I think I just need someone to customize or fill this thing out for me based on my specific plans. If you want to just kind of write up what your plans are, be able to send that to someone and have them put it together, we can help with that. So feel free to reach out to us at support@projectionhub.com. Now, that being said, I do think that the template is possible to do on your own. It really depends on how comfortable you are with Excel and really how much time you want to spend on it, doing it yourself versus having someone else do it for you. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so we're going to start here on the at a glance tab. And so this is kind of the end of the process. After you filled out all of the assumptions, you're going to get to see some charts and tables and graphs that will give you some high level data. So cash flow at a glance, some key ratios, some summary data, construction budget, use of startup funds, and different graphs and charts that will be useful in your business plan or pitch deck. You'll also get a 10-year income statement summary, a 10-year cash flow summary, 10-year balance sheet summary, and then a cash flow, balance sheet, and income statement broken down by month for each of the 10 years. So you get all that level of detail if you need it. You're also going to get this distribution tab, which does allow you to put in some assumptions about how much of the cash, operating cash, are you going to keep in reserve versus distribute to investors? Are you going to sell the entire property at a certain point? What's your cap rate expected to be? How much equity was total invested initially? And ultimately, it's going to provide a demonstration of what your IRR would be for investors. Now, what we are assuming in this model is that you are going to be building condo units, and then you would own the land and you would also kind of be able to manage a property. So have like an HOA fees. So you'd have revenue from HOAs. You may also do vacation rentals. So let's say, somebody buys the condo, but they want to pay you as the developer to continue to manage HOA, continue to manage vacation rentals for you on their customers' behalf. So there is additional revenue that's been built in. The idea here is that we're going to get loan financing in order to build and construct the condos. And then as the condos are sold, you're paying down the balance of that loan, of that debt that you use to construct it. And so that's kind of the assumption of the model here. If you have kind of a different scenario, feel free to reach out to us. We can customize this to kind of whatever scenario you have. We'd be happy to help with that. So, all right, let's dive into the input tabs. So the first input tab is our input revenue tab. You're going to be able to set a projection start month, days revenue, and accounts receivable. So this is basically saying, how long is it going to take your customers to pay? And so we're saying 5 days. Now, this is really for the HOA fees and the vacation rental fees, because remember, we're assuming that you're not renting out these apartments or renting out the condos. The assumptions you're going to sell them. So the days revenue and AR is really about your HOA revenue and your vacation rental revenue. Okay, so here we have our different condo types here. So you can set up different types. You can add as many rows as you want here. Then you can set the number of units, the total square feet for that unit, when construction is going to start, how many months it's going to take to build. And then this is your cost directly attributed to the condo, to the individual condo unit. Okay, that's what we're looking for here. So what you'll need to do is, the reason this is important is because as you sell those condo units, you're going to need to repay the loan most likely, right? So you're probably going to get a construction loan, and then you need to pay down the pro rata share of that construction loan as you sell each unit. And so the idea here is that we need this cost cost estimate for each unit type so that we know how much of the loan needs to be paid back when you sell that unit. So hopefully that makes some sense. But there's both direct cost and then there's a share of indirect costs. And this is just taking your total construction budget, which we're going to get into on the next tab, and kind of divvying that up on a pro rata percentage based on your assumptions. So we also have the ability here to set a pre-sale or a deposit month. So let's say you started construction in month 1 of the model. In month 4, you start pre-selling, right? So let's say you start pre-selling the units even while you're in the middle of construction, and the pre-sale deposit percentage is 20%. And we think we're going to complete that or complete the sale in month 20, right? So you're requiring, again, a deposit, and you're going to get the final 80% of the sale amount, in whatever month you put in here. So we're saying we're going to complete these studio units in month 20. We're going to complete the penthouse suite in month 23, for example. And then here is the estimated sale amount, or the price that you're going to be selling. This is the total price you're selling the units for on average. And then this will calculate your projected gain on sale of the asset. And then we also, again, have this idea of you can rent these units out. So let's say somebody buys the condo, but they want you to manage the vacation rental for them. And so we have assumptions about what's the nightly rate that you could rent these out for. And we're going to use that assumption in order to calculate vacation rental here in a moment. So we've got a whole bunch of calculations here you can see, but there's, direct build out costs, indirect costs. You can see here's the cash collection from condo sales. So say we pre-sold a portion, right? And so we collected that cash, and then let's say we sold the rest of the units here. So we can kind of see the cash coming in from those condo unit sales based on the assumptions that we had in there. We can see the customer deposits. So we collected customer deposits. You'll also see the book value of the condo asset. So again, as you build them, as you construct them, that is going to sit on your balance sheet. But then as you sell them, so once you start to sell those units, you'll see the book value start to drop, and it ends up dropping down to 0 because you don't own the condo assets anymore. You may still own the land, you may still have some assets on your books, but on your balance sheet, but the condo assets itself, as those are sold, need to be taken off the balance sheet. And likewise, you need to pay down that construction debt as you sell the units. So you can see the construction debt pay down assumptions here. And again, this is just paying down the pro rata portion of the debt as you make sales of those condos. So again, all of these details could be like custom depending on your financing structure and the deal. And so again, we can set up customizations for this if you would like to just reach out to us. Okay, so let's look at HOA revenue now. So let's say we can set HOA fee per condo. We can set an annual growth rate, and then that's just going to assume as those condos get built, once we get up to our 50 condos built times the fees per condo, you'll see that through here. So maybe this is a monthly fee. So maybe let's bring this down. Maybe it's a $500 monthly HOA fee, 5% annual growth rate. And then let's say you also have the vacation rental management, right? So you can set an assumption of what percentage of the condos are actually going to use the vacation rental management. So let's say only 50% of them are going to utilize you to rent those out. And then you can set the average number of nights rented per condo. You have the ability to make this seasonal. So if if the condos are in a very seasonal location, then you can set the number of nights rented to follow that seasonal pattern, okay? And then you can set the percentage of max revenue per night. Again, this could be seasonal. And so, for example, we have this max nightly revenue, right? So it could be that in, let's say, September, October, November are your slow months. Maybe you only rented out 10 nights a month, and you only get 50% of that max rental fee. So you're only collecting 50% because maybe it's the off season, and so prices are lower. So you're only going to get 50% of this $500 nightly fee. So you have the ability to kind of add some seasonality both to the price that you're charging and the number of nights that are rented out. And then this is the rental management fee. So you're going to get to say, hey, we're going to collect 20% of revenue as our rental management fee. And then you can set an annual increase in the nightly rental rates. Okay, so that is it on revenue. Let's look at construction budget here. So you can set up some different fixed asset categories. We've already got those kind of set up for you. This is piping in from the other tab that there are 50 units. Now you can set up things like hard costs, land development, and then furnishings, utilities, final grade and sod, parking lot, all the different things that you're going to need into kind of the total development or total construction costs. And you need to, although you have already over here, you have put in the cost directly attributed to the condo. And so you'll see right here, this average per unit. So what we did here is we just took the total divided by 50, divided by the number of units to come up up with the average per unit cost of $144,500. And we pipe that in over here. So this is referencing that cell, but we need to make sure that this is on this tab as well, because we need to be able to determine the timing of those expenses, of those hard cost expenses. So you can set the cost period. This allows you to set the cost period of when is the cash going to go out the door for this construction. So for example, let's say we have month one, we've got land development. So before we start spending any money on actually, building out the condo units themselves, let's say we got 1.25 million in land development. So we set that as a per property amount here, and that's going to be spent in, month 1 through 5, spread out evenly month 1 through 5. And then the condo construction, or the hard cost for the condos here, is going to be spent month 6 through 12. And then we've got to furnish the condo. So month 15 through 18, maybe final grade and sod is happening in month 16 and 18. Maybe the parking lot is towards the very end, set month 17 to 18, right? So you can set all of these expenses as either per unit amount, and then you put in the number of units, and or a per property amount. So you can say, here's some furnishings, that 25,000 of furnishings that maybe is in the lobby. It's not tied to any specific unit, but we have some furnishings that just need to kind of be part of the entire condo, right? Okay, and so that is going to give you your total development costs. You can see your average cost per unit, your average cost per square foot. I forgot to mention, I guess over here, this is where you can set your square footage per unit for the different unit types. And the rest of this is really calculations. You can add other fixed assets that you want to have in the future. So you said, hey, we know down the road in year 3, we're going to add this new furnishings, or we're going to add new piece of equipment or something. You can add that in here in the future. On the operating costs, we can set up to 10 different kind of expense categories, overarching expense categories, and then you can have these fixed expenses here. So you can set the different names of the fixed expenses and then select the category from above. And you can say what's the first month that we're going to start paying for this expense. So let's say the website goes live early. It's month 13. We're going to be middle construction, but we want the website up, starting to market. Now the office supplies, well, we don't need to start that till month 20 when we actually have an office ready that needs supplies. Maybe there's management software or insurance. Maybe certain insurance might not start until it's complete, right? And so all of these things, you can set those up. You can set the last payment month. So this is a 10-year model. So that's why we have month 120. That's the end of the 10 years. But there could be certain expenses that you only want to go for a period of time. So grand opening marketing here, we could say is month 15 through month 20, and it's $5,000 a month. And it's not going to repeat in future years. Now the rest of these, we assume, we're just going to keep paying $100 a month from month 13 all the way through month 120 for the website. And here's our inflation rate. It's going to increase by 2% in the first year, 3% the next year. And then after that, we're just going to apply a 3% growth rate going forward. So these are your monthly expenses on a per dollar amount basis. You also have the ability to set up expenses here on a percentage of revenue. So if we said payment processing, and we're going to call it general and admin, and it's going to start in month 20 and end in month 120, and maybe it's 0.01, so it's 1%, maybe 1% of total revenue for ACH fees or credit card payment processing fees. Maybe you have a 1% kind of revenue payment processing fees you want to build in there. And you can also set a reserve for replacements here as well if you want to set aside cash for replacements or maintenance on the building, for example. All right, I'm going to jump over to our input salaries tab here. So you can set an admin staff salary, you can set an annual salary, benefits, what month the position is going to start and end, the number of this particular employee. So we're going to have one of these employees with a 2.5% annual raise. And then finally, the final input tab is our input financing tab. So you're going to see piped in here the total construction budget, some financing costs that we have built from assumptions down below, and gives you your total kind of project cost here. And then we have the ability to set the debt and equity that we're assuming. So in this example right now, we're saying that the total debt and equity needed is $10.2 million. We actually have 12.4 listed. So maybe you want to have some extra cushion for contingency, or, maybe you say, hey, look, we don't actually need 3 million equity. We're going to do 2 million equity. And then maybe we want to have a contingency as well. So you can enter in your equity sources. So let's say you already put in $100,000 on an option on the land or something, right? So that's equity you've already invested. You can set that to month 0 because it's equity you've put in previously. And then this would be new equity that you're bringing in as part of the the project. So let's make that month 1. You're probably gonna have to spend your equity first before the loan dollars get spent. And then you can set up your kind of construction debt, okay? So let's say we've got loan financing costs and we have this calculated here. So if we come down here, it's looking at this construction debt number here. It's taking that 9.3 million, applying a 1.5% fee for financing and closing costs, inspections, can set those. And then, so typically there's going to be, a construction debt and there's going to be permanent financing if you still have some debt. Now, it may be that you sell the condos, it may pay off all your debt, or you may, you own the land still, and maybe you still have some debt on the land or some portion of the condos that you don't sell and you rent those out or something, and you may still have some permanent debt. And so we have kind of the ability for you to do both construction debt portion and permanent debt. So you can enter in that construction debt, the interest rate on that, whether you're going to be making interest payments on that, when the first interest payment month is. And then here's the idea of the refinancing. So we're refinancing that to permanent debt in month 30, and we're setting the total new debt to just be $1 million. And the reason for that is because along the way, we have sold most of the condos and we've paid down most of this construction debt already. So maybe we only have to refinance or pay off $1 million or get, $1 million of new debt. And so this actually calculates the debt balance at the refinance date. And so it's calculating that it's zero because we've already sold all the condos in this example. But maybe, again, because we own the land, maybe we want to kind of do some cash out or put some debt on property. So maybe we can get $1 million out of that, 7% interest, 360 months for a 30-year term. So that's the idea. I know there's a lot there, already 20 minutes into this. We are back at the at a glance tab here. Again, to just reiterate, if you have questions or if you need help customizing or filling this out, we have a whole team ready to help you with that. So you can reach out to us at support@projectionhub.com. As a thank you for sticking around to the very end, we have put a link to a form in the description of the video below. If you click that link and fill out that form, we're going to email you our most up-to-date coupon code so you can take a discount on this particular template. If you found this to be helpful, I'd love it if you liked the video, subscribe to our channel. We're going to be producing more helpful content like this, helping people raise capital from lenders and investors and helping them through that financial modeling process. So we appreciate you and let us know how we can help. Thanks.